not enough. We must destroy our opponent, Dilbert.
All it takes is one glance and you know almost everything you need to know about Dilbert. The comic strip created by Scott Adams premiered on April 16, 1989 on Sunday newspapers everywhere. The comic focused on mundane, white-collar workplace dynamics, such as existentialism, accepting death, and when the copy machine is out of ink. But we're not looking at the comic. We're looking at the animated series that aired on the now defunct UPN network.
On January 25th, the Dillennium begins.
It's more than just a clever marketing phrase, but not much more.
Dilbert premieres January 25th.
It was a short-lived series airing from 1999 to 2000, producing a total of 30 episodes in the span of 2 seasons. The TV series was developed by Larry Charles and Scott Adams. Larry had been writing for Seinfeld up to this point, and helped Scott flesh out his characters and world, so it can fit better into a 22-minute time slot. I think adapting something like this into a primetime TV show, without the proper guidance, could have been a challenge adapting.
Hey, Dilbert, what do you call it when a guy in middle management moves all the way to upper management?
I don't know. What do you call it?
A promotion.
Oh, thanks. Here's a memo.
Well, sometimes the business world's funny.
This hadn't been the first time a series for Dilbert had been pitched. Before settling on UPN, NBC was a possible candidate. But Scott ultimately decided against it, because NBC wanted to give Dilbert a love interest, with quote, sexual tension.
Daddy! Daddy!
You made this happen. You made me think of Dilbert and sex at the same time.
Arbitrarily adding a love interest with sexual tension to a show is just an overused cliche to get people to continue watching. Interestingly enough, there was a live-action Dilbert pilot that was filmed for Fox, but we still haven't seen it surface online, so for the time being, it remains lost. Shame too, because this pilot would have predated The Office, the other one.
Expect more in May on UPN. And Monday on an all-new Dilbert, expect more Millennium Madness.
At the time, UPN was the 6th-ranked network, so they were more open with straying away from what we expected on an animated TV show.
All new UPN Monday.
In hindsight, the show could have turned out bad had the circumstances been any different. The show takes full advantage of being animated, and does a lot to distinguish itself from the comic, so ultimately, it exists as its own thing. You don't need to be a fan of the comic to enjoy the TV series. The main character of Dilbert is a bright know-it-all whose potential is being depressed by his low-effort job as an electrical engineer.
It's so small, I can't even find it.
His boss is a total moron who manages his staff poorly.
Well, there's no point in killing a dead horse.
You mean there's no point in beating a dead horse?
Why would anyone beat a dead horse?
Why would anyone kill a dead horse?
Maybe it'd kick you.
It's dead.
And so is every customer who used our flagship product.
His coworker Wally was once a promising engineer, but settled comfortably in the shell of his past self. In contrast, Alice is a hard worker who doesn't take shit from anyone.
According to the direction, you just strap it on some sucker's head, and it records his excitement level when exposed to various shopping stimuli.
We need to test it out on someone who shops.
I.e. a shopper.
Oh.
This is so sexist. I am not the only person in this room who shops. Where'd you get the clothes you're wearing?
I won these clothes in a contest.
Yeah, I always pick up an extra suitcase at the airport luggage carousel.
We're wearing his hand-me-downs.
Sometimes I just find stuff after I talk.
And finally, rounding up the main cast, we have Dogbert, a megalomaniac who also has no problem killing people.
Let me out of this damn thing! Please, someone!
Push the button to simulate the storm that brought Amelia Earhart's plane down.
No, not again! Oh, God! Make it stop!
The first season has a story arc with the invention of the Grunt Master.
The Grunt Master. I don't know. It's missing something.
Grunt Master 6000?
That's it!
The first episode, titled The Name, is all about brainstorming an idea for just the name of their new flagship product.
We need a name for the product.
That's actually the last step. You've got the transparencies out of order.
What's the name of their company again?
We were called Pathway Electronics. Then we merged with E-Tech Management. Now I guess we're Pathetech Management.
The end of the season is now their finished product ready for consumer testing.
That thing's not ready for human testing. We haven't even lab tested the technology.
Oh, calm down. We'll do that after.
The graviton generator alone is very sensitive.
The graviton generator alone is very sensitive. Quit your whining, Missy. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen?
If anyone were foolish enough to build a graviton generator, it would surely create a black hole that would annihilate the entire solar system.
And that story arc is just one example of what makes this show so great. It's the juxtaposition between the mundane work environment and the comically exaggerated frustration that comes with it. The second season was unfortunately its final, as being on the network in 6th place didn't work out well.
He's dead. Dilbert is dead.
Are you sure?
Yes!
Dilbert is brought to you by Mountain Grown Folgers Coffee, the best part of waking up.
It's called YouTube. Take a click.
Return to
Dilbert.
From Cartoon Network.
There was a second go at an animated version of Dilbert, but this time more in tune with the comic, which is exactly what you think it'd look like.
Have you ever noticed that people continuously bother you when you're trying to work?
These animated shorts were available as video podcasts, each one being around 30 seconds in length. But some have an audible commercial in the beginning and end that takes 11 seconds away from the overall 30 seconds. So in reality, you're only getting about 19 seconds of Dilbert. This new form of distributing comics didn't last long, which makes me comfortable to say this truly was the Dilbert of Vine. The company that produced these shorts, Ringtails, made other animated shorts, based on other pre-existing comics. Despite these animated podcasts not taking off like they thought they would, I think there's some real potential here for distributing comics in this medium, especially with the popularity of podcasts nowadays.
Now on to a more pressing matter. Gentlemen, and I say gentlemen, because there ain't no damn way a woman's going to sit on this board while I'm alive.
And that's about it for the Dilbert animated series. Without spoiling, with 2 seasons, there's not much to tell. Currently, you can purchase individual episodes for 99 cents on iTunes, or you can buy the complete series on DVD. And some episodes are available on YouTube.
Nice shooting.
Somehow I just don't feel right about that.
Just drive. I've got a book to write.
Oh, you had me worried there. Thought you meant the white slave market, of which I know nothing.
Does anybody care that I'm a bear?